Florence Pugh's career is a masterclass in choosing the right roles and striking the right balance. She's a poster child for career progression in Hollywood. Pugh doesn't stick to only doing small mid-budget independents like Saoirse Ronan or only massive blockbusters like Zendaya. She effortlessly moves between the two. It's the kind of poise you need for a long career in entertainment and to become a big star. If you look at her filmography, you see that she's only been acting for a decade. Her first role was in a small indie movie, The Falling, opposite Maisie Williams in 2014. She had a short film in 2015 and got her first lead role in 2016's Lady Macbeth, which is not based off of William Shakespeare's Macbeth, but rather Lady Macbeth of the Mtsensk district, which apparently is an 1865 novella by Nikolai Laskov. Made on a budget of £500,000, it made $5.4 million at the box office and won rave reviews. Pugh, in particular, was singled out for praise and being hailed as a major talent to watch. The years between 2014 and 2018 were her paying her dues and putting in the work, something we're all probably familiar with. 2018 and 2019 saw her work herself to the bone in 8 movies, or almost one release every 3 months. 3 of them are some of her best roles yet. WWE turned AEW wrestler Paige in Fighting With My Family, Danny Arter in Midsommar, and Amy March in Greta Gerwig's rendition of Little Women, which is based on the novel by Louisa May Alcott. All 3 were released in 2019, all 3 were critical and commercial successes, and all 3 won her praise. It's probably one of the best years anyone has ever had in Hollywood. 2021's Black Widow saw her step into the MCU opposite Scarlett Johansson. The film got decent reviews, but the circumstances around its release were less than favorable. It saw a simultaneous release on Disney Plus and in theaters, and had its release date pushed back 3 times thanks to the pandemic. While it broke pandemic box office records, it's difficult to call it anything but a commercial flop. Movies like 2022's Don't Worry Darling, and despite their mixed reviews, still don't knock Pugh. Rather, she's one of those actresses who critics think brightens up what might otherwise be a forgettable movie. For example, Kate Erblin at IndieWire said of Pugh, quote, "Pugh's outstanding performance and the extraordinary below-the-line craftsmanship are all impeccably rendered, but they can't overcome the film's rotten core concept," end quote. Phil DeSemlin at Time Out said, quote, "Pugh saves this stylish but inert horror thriller from disaster," end quote. And Richard Lawson at Vanity Fair called Pugh, quote, "a commanding and centered actor who makes the most of the hash she's served," end quote. And on it goes. The Wonder, which was a release immediately after Don't Worry Darling, earned her similar praise. Her most recent movie was Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, where she played Jean Tatlock, one of J. Robert Oppenheimer's love interests. She only has a few scenes, but completely dominates them. I like Emily Blunt as an actress, but it's hard to say that she was more memorable than Pugh for most of the movie. Her big budget roles are few and far between, though certainly increasing as time goes on and, I think, well chosen. Outlaw King was a Netflix film with a $120 million budget, where she played Elizabeth de Burgh, Queen Consort of Robert the Bruce. Black Widow, Puss in Boots, where she voiced Goldilocks, Oppenheimer, and the upcoming Dune Part 2, where she plays Princess Irulan. That's 5 movies out of 20 that have a budget of more than $100 million, or 5 out of 16 if we exclude the short films. Pugh seems to sensibly choose her roles. All of them are a little different, and she brings an intensity to whatever character is lucky enough to have her play them. Empire put it well in a December 2022 article, Empire's 50 Greatest of All Time list. Well, I think that might be a bit premature. She's certainly a contender. As they said, quote, "simply one of the very best of her generation," end quote.